Group 1 is supposed to touch on two of the verses, verse number 9 and verse number 13. But I think for today, we will focus on group number 9. There's Om Sri Sai, sarvajnaya namaha. All right, which means salutation to Sri Sai, who is the all-knowing one. Okay, if I may request Brother Uday Kumar to read the text for verse number 9.
Sai Ram. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Sathya Sai is the indweller in every being, embodying the divine essence that transcends the individual identity. He possesses an intimate understanding of each person's life. Throughout his life, Baba has demonstrated this profound knowledge by revealing deep, hidden secrets to individuals who sought his guidance. Numerous devotees recount experiences when, during a personal interaction, Baba communicated personal insights that were not previously known to anyone except themselves. This ability to address the innermost thought and feeling of people shows his omniscience and inspires faith among all. His omnipresence, omniscience, and omnipotence enable him to offer guidance and support to those in need. His advice is a beacon of light, guiding individuals away from unfavorable circumstances and towards path of peace and fulfillment. Countless testimonials detail how Baba's counsel help people navigate crises, resolve conflicts, and make critical decisions in their lives. By embodying the qualities of true spiritual guide, Sathya Sai fosters a sense of security and assurance, reminding his followers that they are never alone in their struggle and his divine support is always available to them. He frequently cites the Upanishadic verse, which translate to knowing that by which everything else becomes known. Through this quote, he encourages everyone to seek the knowledge of the Absolute, which grants knowledge of all things. In doing so, he reminds us that the quality of all-knowing is not exclusive to him, rather it is inherent right of all individuals, as their true essence is the divine self, which is one with Baba's divinity. Sai Ram.
Thank you, Brother Uday Kumar. Okay, so the key point here is knowing that by which everything else become known. So I still remember I read somewhere, Swami Vivekananda, when he was asked, okay, if you are reborn again, what is it that you would like to learn most? He said, knowing that by which everything else becomes known. All right. So on this, okay, so Swami is supposedly, he is the one who is all-knowing, okay? Well, he's avatar, therefore he's all-knowing, okay? But we, as mortal beings, can we also be all-knowing? All right? So under this question 1 for self-reflection is that, how will I deepen my awareness that I'm one with the loving divine and all, without separation, and thereby directly experience the greatest of all knowledge? Okay, we shall look at question 2 later on, okay? All right, so question 1 is, how will I deepen my awareness that I'm one with the loving all, divine in all, before separation, and thereby directly experience the greatest of all knowledge, okay? So, Brother Uday Kumar, can you share with us your findings on this?
Sai Ram. Devotion and faith, that is Bhakti and Sraddha. Constant remembrance, namasramana of the divine name, Sai Ram, which purifies the heart and aligns you with the divine consciousness. I think I shared the one this video clip. So how do we
Yes.
begin practicing namasmarana in the daily life? So,
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so I shall show the video that Brother Udakuma had shared with us. Okay. So as we watch this video, let us focus on it and see what are the key points in the above video.
Once a student had asked Swami, Swami, Mirabai, Swami was speaking about Mirabai, and Swami said, Mirabai kept thinking of Krishna, Krishna, Krishna so much that she didn't suffer anything at all. She even drank poison rather than giving up Krishna's name. So she was in bliss with Krishna Nama. Why, Swami, when we do your chant, Namasmarana, we don't get like that, We still get bogged down with all the worldly things. The beautiful answer is that sometimes when we are suffering, when we are suffering from some disease, say like malaria, Swami would say, when you have malaria, even a sweet thing you eat tastes bitter. Is that a problem in the sweet or the tongue? It's a problem in the tongue. So like malaria, roga means disease. We are suffering from bhava roga, the disease of worldliness, because of which we are not able to enjoy the sweet. That's why in the beginning, as I said, somebody asked a question, when I see a spiritual content versus entertaining content, I feel like going to the entertaining content because we are suffering from bhava roga. You and me, all of us included. I also many times click on the entertainment rather than the spiritual thing, because entertainment is entertainment, fun. The mind gets entertained. So first we have to take the medicine to overcome this bhava roga. And then once we are healed and cured of this disease of worldliness, we will enjoy the divine name. Now here's a beautiful catch, beautiful magic. In the worldly sense, we have a medicine, quinine to cure malaria, and then we eat the sweet. In the divine field, the Lord's name is only the medicine. The Lord's name is only the sweet. So in the beginning, thinking of Swami every time, thinking of Namasmarana, doing Namasmarana every time will feel like taking medicine. Oh, I have to remember, I have to keep reminder and do. But as we keep doing it, it will transform from medicine to sweet, because we are getting cured of our bhavaroga, our worldly disease. And a time will come, I can tell this from personal experience, where you'll enjoy doing it. I just keep doing it. It feels very nice. I don't know, it just feels nice. Like people ask, how do you chew gum? In some countries, I know chewing gum is banned, but in those countries where it is there, you chew gum, after some time the sweetness goes off, it's very tasteless, and yet you keep chewing. It's not, it just becomes part of you and you feel very nice, just chewing an apparently tasteless thing also. So an apparently unproductive thing like just telling Om Sai Shwaraya Vidmahe Satyadevaya Dhimahi becomes very beautiful and enjoyable after some time. I have noticed this, and therefore just start it, just embark on it.
Okay, so Brother Udakuma mentioned that the constant remembrance, namasmarana of the divine name, Sai Ram, purify the hearts and align us to divine consciousness. Okay, so what are the key points that we can gather from this video by Aravind? Okay. So please feel free to share your thoughts on this.
Saram Billy.
Yep.
Actually, every Sunday, I have a compound budget unit. Few of us would love to chant Gayatri, right? For about 40 minutes, 108, and then meditate. It's not easy to chant until we chant from the heart, but we know that it's chanting from the heart. At times we do get it. At one time I did chant, and then formless Gayatri actually appeared and blessed. Even though the God doesn't appear or Swami doesn't appear, but you feel nice, as our brother Aravind has said. You chant, you feel nice. The starting may be a bit kosong, a bit empty, but when you chant halfway and above and all that, you feel the body filled with energy. God may not appear, that's okay, but you chant with beautiful vibration, beautiful energy. And at times, if you like, if the center allow, you can allow the energy to flow and you become louder, stronger, more beautiful also, right? If there is a need for you, otherwise we normally little bit more control rather than let it all out, It's just love to chant. Few of them only, not all of them. Few of them, and normally also few of them turn up. Interesting is how many years? 18 years we have been doing it. This is the 19 years, and only this year onward, normally it's less than 5. This year onward, about 10 of them come. Double, consider very good. Not easy, where to ask for people to come for group chanting, It's something that is very personal between you and God. When your time is due, you know there is something there, and you would just love to come and chant. Just 1-2 weeks ago, one of the sisters who's always joined the chanting. She left for Singapore, but we have a tea break, So we went for tea, and we used to share, And she said one thing very interesting, I think. She said, James, after my chanting 108, my left ear, I can hear somebody chanting. So she and I know there was some good spirit around. Still continue to chant. This of course, this sister got third eye. I didn't know she can hear the spirit chanting also. So it's very good sign. She just enjoy it. Somebody beside her chanting Gayatri. Silent.
Thank you, James, for the interesting sharing.
Saram, Brother Billy. I think everything is in the mind. Like suppose if we think of mango, then slowly the shape, the juice, the sweetness of the mango comes in the mind. And there is a quality of mind that if you do it more intensely, mind forgets what is real or whether it is happening actually or it's just remembering the thing what you are doing. So what I feel is that when we are doing this Namaha of Swami 108 names, and each name has got a deeper meaning, which personifies Swami's attributes of helping us, protecting us, loving us, and those so many things. So idea is that when we are chanting the name, slowly or somewhere those qualities of Swami is taking shape, is trying to give us those assurances in our mind. And as we know that mind is, if it's idle, it will think something good or something bad. Sometimes it will feel a little low, a little high. But Swami's name, if we are chanting, what happens that this name itself removes those thoughts. And when those thoughts, the ugly thoughts or bad thoughts are removed, certainly we feel elated and joyful. And this is what happens when we chant Swami's name or any God's name, is that slowly, initially, as you said, the chewing gum was sweet, but afterwards it is tasteless. But here is the opposite way. So initially we think it is a tasteless job we are doing, chewing the gum, chewing the gum. This here also, what is Swami's name, we are doing, and slowly what happens that because those mental thoughts will come and disturb, distract and come. But once we focus on the name slowly, it so happens the mind become focused. And you see that like big painters, big musicians, when they create a music, what happens? They are lost. They're not in the world when the music is created by, and they are fully engrossed, and there is no other thoughts except that painting, except that music. In the same way, when we're chanting Swami's name, only that thought remains, and is so intense that we are totally lost in it. And that is where we forget our body consciousness and we feel one with Swami. And this is what this Nam Smarana does to us. Sai Ram.
Thank you, Brahmano. Any regular bhajan singers here, no? Who sing often, who not only during bhajans, but during the day, I'd like to share.
Billy, by the way, sorry, just remember, actually, chanting God's name is also a very powerful sadhana. Actually, it's concentration. As we know, concentration, then contemplation, then meditate, then on the samadhi. So it's a practice that is very, very high level, right? And of course, if you can concentrate, then a lot of work can be done if you have good concentration, right? Of course, calling God's name, the blessing, and all that is there also. Silent.
Okay. It reminds me of a particular Buddhist group where their master taught them the power, the importance of chanting. And the members of this Buddhist group, they are very ardent members, and they always carry a timer. And they really keep track of the chanting, keep count of the chanting, and they share on videos on the miraculous healing of chanting. Perhaps let's take a look at the story of how the Ratnakara, who is a highway robber, one who had committed many atrocious crime and sin, okay? And through the power of namasmarana, the chanting of God's name, he became, a sage, Sage Valmiki, and who wrote the Ramayana story from a highway robbers, who commit so much crime, okay, murders. He became a sage through the power of namasmarana. Okay, I think many of us are familiar with the story, but those of us who are not familiar with this story may enjoy this particular video. Okay.
Do you know Valmiki's original name was Ratnakar? He was a fierce dacoit in a dense forest, robbing anyone who crossed his path. One day, he encountered the wise sage Narada, who walked fearlessly despite the danger. Ratnakar demanded all his valuables. Narada calmly asked why he committed such crimes. Ratnakar explained he did it to feed his family. Narada then asked if his family would share the burden of his sins. Confidently, Ratnakar believed they would. Narada suggested he ask them. Ratnakar tied Narada to a tree and rushed home. To his shock, his family refused, saying his sins were his alone. Feeling lost, Ratnakar returned to Narada, who advised him to meditate on the name Ram. However, Ratnakar's sins made it difficult for him to say Ram, so he began chanting Mara, which, over time, transformed into Ram. Ratnakar meditated deeply for many years, remaining so still that anthills, which means Valmikas in Sanskrit, formed around him. Emerging from this deep penance, he was transformed and took the name Valmiki. He later wrote the epic Ramayana, teaching the world about goodness and redemption.
So this is to me, this is a very inspiring story, okay? How just by chanting God's name, it erases off so much of karma, and you can become a saint. All right. So, any comments on this particular video? That's why Swami has mentioned that whenever we are free, we should sing a bhajan or chant the tune of a bhajan whenever our mind is free.
Sairam, brother.
Yes,
I think I also believe that Namasmarana is very powerful. And for the past 2.5 years, every morning when I wake up, I use the Japamala and I just say Om Sri Bhagavan Sathya Sai Babaya Namaha 108 times. So it calms down the mind, and it sets the tone for the day for me. So like we were talking about how it initially, of course, it was a bit challenging to really focus and concentrate and everything. But eventually I've gotten into the habit, and it actually, like Brother Manoj said just now, it gives a sweet start to the day, actually, a very pleasant start to the day. Just doing that namasmarana. So I think it's a very, very powerful tool.
Okay, thank you, sister, for sharing. Anyone else who had the experience with namasmarana? For me, I personally like to chant the word Sairam. Okay, whenever there's any disturbing thoughts that comes, I'll just say Sairam, Sairam, Sairam. So I find that it neutralizes this what they call disturbing thoughts.
Yeah, just it happens to us also, like when we do this overnight Shivratri bhajan or this 24-hour Akhand bhajan, maybe we sleep only for 2-3 hours, and then so after the evening, second day, when we go to sleep, as Brother James said, the bhajan tune looks like as if it's playing near our ears, and there's no we are at home. There's no bhajan is being sung, but the tune sometimes it reverberates in our ears. So thinking that bhajan is going on. So this constant remembrance and the music and the song of bhajans, it creates so much of repetition of this musical thing that it just comes to the ears without anything. It never happens anytime else. So this is what it is that this 12 hours bhajan attending or 24 hours. This itself causes this sort of phenomena in our mind, which is we can hear the bhajan. So I wonder that Valmiki and all these sages who must have repeated for days and days, how much cleansing it has done to the mind, and they will be in 24 hours in Rama's name or Swami's name or whatever it is, the Guru's name. So I think it's a very powerful tool. And first of all, it brings us to the concentration that nothing in the world is there except the name. That itself is a very joyous thing, because there's no worry of food, there's no worry of pain, there's no worry of disease. Valmiki said that all the ants had made a cage over his body, and he didn't feel it. So think of his concentration level. That's why he could write that such a powerful epic, which is revered today also. So I think it's a very powerful tool. Saira.
Thank you, Manoj. He didn't chant long mantra, just two songs, Rama. No? At first, he started with Mara because he's not able to chant Rama, okay? And just 2-syllable mantra, Rama, Rama, Rama. He became a saint, okay? Right, so this is very inspiring. Yep.
Billy,
Yep.
just ask everyone whether you experience this or not. It's quite frequent with me. Let's say you face a problem, a situation, or challenges, some obstacles. As Sai normally we do Om Saram, Om Saram, Saram, Saram. Then after some time, like probably, a few minutes later, you find that you prefer to chant Gayatri. Like Gayatri got a higher meaning or inner meaning, or a strong point that you chant Gayatri will be. You feel more comfortable and much better, and feel there is something there, because something that you need to do, and you ask God to enlighten me or to guide me. So I don't know how many of you will have this type of thing. We sometimes change the chanting according to circumstances and surrounding. Saira.
Saira,
Sairam.
chanting is good, but at the same time, so you have to think about this. Sarvajnaya means he knows everything. He is present. He is present everywhere. So nothing is hidden from him. That thing must come to your head. Along with that, the namasara is good. Even if you don't do, when you have that thing in the mind, it's always doing you good. So always must think that Swami knows everything. You can't hide anything from him. He knows everything. Just sarvajnaya. He knows what we are thinking, our past, present, everything he knows. So that is also namaha. When you think that Swami knows everything, he knows everything, we have to always repeat that. That is such a namaha. Swami is everything. Everything is Swami. Every word, everything. Everything that is good. When Swami is bad, is also his. So that thing also you must have it. Along with that, you can say namaha. It's good. It will give you more energy. It's very good. I have experienced that. Saira.
Thank you, sister. Okay. Sister Saras, good to see that you have joined us. Would you like to share something, Sister Saras? You can unmute yourself. Okay, otherwise we shall move on to next one, okay? So, reflection number 2, okay, but Udaya Kumar, you like to read this?
Okay. Seeing Sai everywhere, see Sai always in all. When you recognize every being as a manifestation of Sai, the experience of unity naturally unfolds. Practicing awareness in daily life, greeting each person as a form of the divine, nature's a living experience of oneness. So how can we cultivate the ability to see Sai always in all? There's a nice video by Gita Mohan Rao. Can play that now. Sai.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Brother Udaya Kumar. So how will I deepen my awareness that I'm one with the loving divine and all, without separation, and thereby directly experience the greatest of all knowledge? Is by seeing Sai everywhere. Okay, let's watch this video by Sister Gita Ram.
Once when I was in Puttaparthi and Swami had, with great infinite love, invited my family in for an interview, there was another group of youngsters with us in that group. Swami, in his very friendly, jovial way, started to ask everybody their names. What is your name? Somebody said Ramesh, somebody said Satish, somebody gave their different names. He asked me mine, though he knew me, my children. And then he asked everybody, what is my name? Everybody said Sai Baba in the room. Then he went around the room again and said, what is the meaning of your name? You said your name is Ramesh, your name is Satish, whatever the names. What is the meaning? And everybody tried to give the meaning of their names. Then Swami again laughingly said, what is the meaning of my name? So everybody immediately said, it means divine mother and father. Swami said, no. Somebody said Satchidananda, it means divine bliss. Swami said, no. So everybody kind of looked at each other, they didn't know what else to say. They said, we don't know. So Swami, who always loved acronyms, said, how do you spell my name? So everybody, of course, very confidently spelled S-A-I-B-A-B-A. So he said, you see, my name gives you my message. S stands for Sri Sai. A stands for always. And I stands for in all. Sri Sai, always in all. So I was sitting near his chair and I said, Swami, but what about Baba? What does that mean then? Because you can't give half a name. Very quickly he looked at my sons and the youngsters in that room and said, be aware, be alert. Be aware, be alert. And we all sort of were taken aback by that. And he gave a beautiful explanation to that. He said, you see, you have to start backwards. If you're aware of your thoughts, what are you thinking? If you're aware of your words, if you're aware of your actions, if you're alert at what you're thinking, if you're alert at what you're doing, and if you're alert at what you're saying, automatically they will all be very positive and good things, because you will not want to think bad things, you will not want to do bad things or say bad things. So if you're aware and alert all the time, and you're aware and alert of the environment around you, if you're aware and alert to be helpful, if you are aware and alert to be kind, then automatically you will become Sri Sai, always in all. That is the journey.
Okay, so this is where the meaning of Sai Baba means Sri Sai, always in all. Okay, be aware, be alert. All right, so this the name Sai Baba itself is something very insightful. Okay, do we practice seeing Sai in all? And are we constantly, be aware and be alert of our thoughts, of our words, of our deeds? So I shall pause here for comments from you all. Okay, what do you think of this?
Sarah meeting.
Yes.
For us, probably because we haven't reached the highest level where we can see Sai in everywhere, see God everywhere. But one thing I think many of us would have reached a level where whatever we see or talk or think, we always know Swami is in us and he knows everything. So we do things, always be careful. How we talk, how people say and all that. If even people who say negative thing and all that, we step one step backward, and if there's opportunity opportunity available, then explain to the other person. If we can, not necessarily we can, right? And of course, those that other people who are very rough, we can't see sight in them. Definitely, we can't see. I mean, we haven't reached that level, especially for me. Okay, so there are some whom we can talk to, and some that is we can't touch or can't go near. So the one only time is the solution. Side up.
Thank you, about James. Anyone would like to share on this?
Okay, really, Saira. Yeah. So I want to share something in the sense that, you see, how to know everything everywhere about everyone, because that's godly, okay? So how do I turn this mantra to myself? That's the whole purpose now, is how do you change this and reflect whether we are like that? So I think we should start first. See, how is a father and mother knowing everything about the children? If the parents are dysfunctional, they will not know about the children. But if they're very, very loving to the children, they are fully aware, then they know what class they're going, what school where they are weak, how they're weak, where they will go, what is that awareness? Why is that awareness coming inside? Consciousness. Why is it that the consciousness is like that? It's because out of love. So the whole idea is my life is my message, expansion is my life, means the whole purpose of our existence is to keep on expanding the consciousness, which is why from what Brahmachari Grahastha is given, to expand the consciousness, to include other family members, to know where they are, how they are, so that there is empathetic feeling towards everybody. And so the family unit remains in the same. Like that, if you go to a CEO of a company, if the CEO is reckless and he doesn't know anything about anything, you go and ask him, he doesn't know. But a very, very concerned CEO of a company, it's amazing when you talk to them, they know everything about the organization. They know which department is functioning, which department is not functioning, how to connect, because he's inside there. His consciousness is spreading throughout the whole organization. So sometimes we don't need to think about too big thing and then suddenly lose the focus of it. Whatever that we are supposed to know, do we know it nicely? Do we know deeply? Do we know greatly? And do we know with very great intents? So like that, the CEO is able to do this. Why go so far? Balvika's teacher, you see, asks the teacher, she goes to class, she comes back, teaches. Very good, the classes are all very good. Ask the teacher sometimes, what do you know what is happening in the service wing? The teacher will not know. You ask a Sevadal who is doing the Seva in the center, do you know how many students you have in your center? They don't know. So we should be very simplifying this particular thing. Don't try, we should not become too esoteric and try and think. This is very practical. A person who is going to the Sai center and being active should know what all other wings are doing. What is their expectation? How can this center move? This is general awareness. Then if your center, if your expansion of consciousness in your own KL Slango centers, now we are talking in your own region, how many centers are there? What are the problems that they have? How do we work together? How can we collectively work? Consciousness is expanding. This is really the love all, serve all, what Swami has talked about. Because when we become aware, our awareness expands, you see. So we are working with everybody else. You know, we say Sai, Sri Sai, always in all. Okay, this is a very nice word. How many of us actually go to the website, the universal website that we have, or Sathya Sai website? There are thousands of activities taking place in all the countries. Then an amazing, amazing work is being done. In Russia, if you look at what work that they are doing, the Sai world, my God, it's just amazing how much that they're doing. So we enjoy the Sathya Sai Sarupa. Sathya Sai Sarupa spread out in all these countries, and we get extremely thrilled by his glory, his hands touching the lives of thousands of people like that. Are we able to appreciate that? Are we able to appreciate why people in such far distance are able to roll their sleeves and continue working like that? In the Middle East, the sun is so hot, people don't even come out to work because it is so hot, blistering heat, that the devotees make more buttermilk and cold buttermilk and serve in the hot sun to these workers who are right in the middle. Why do they do that? Why is it that you're prompted to get yourself burned and serve this? Why? That ability to appreciate, that is the meaning of the word Sri Sai, always in all. See, it is not Sai as one form of Sathya Sai, sitting somewhere, not like that. We have to appreciate the whole expression of that whole thing, and then it is like that. How can you achieve this? Unless you are aware and alert. If you're not aware and you're not, that's why Swami says start with Baba to get to Sai. So unless we are aware is what? Awareness is consciousness. So if we are just only in our center, only know what we are doing, only focus, then that awareness is only that small little island that we live in ourselves. But if we are more interacting, integrating, we become a huge, big family. You ask your Balvikas children, SSC children in the center, do they know that they are part of thousands and thousands of SSC children around the world? Do they know? They may not have been exposed, they may not have been told, they have not. So if we are not educating our people through practical ways in which we can expand our consciousness in this manner, how is this consciousness going to develop? See, this is the most practical aspect of this particular verse that Swami has given us, Sri Sai, always in all. Then when we go back, or when we go to work, then the most important thing, appreciating people in other religion. That is also Swami in there. You go to the Muslim and you pray, when you go for fasting month, you do the Christian. See, look at the commonalities of this. Wow, Bhagavan appreciating and manifesting in so many different forms, and the traditions and cultures, you find common things coming out. This appreciation for this diversity, appreciation for things beyond us, is real expansion of consciousness. This is the real expansion of consciousness. And this is how we can practically see Sai, always in all, and be aware and be alert. So even your chosen field, let's say you're a professional, you're an architect, you're a lawyer, doctor. Okay, in that own field, if seeing Sai in all, how is your knowledge expanded? The same subject matter, how is it practiced in other countries? How are best practices shared? How much can you bring? How knowledgeable and how deep is our knowledge is also another expression of this. So if the success of a human life lies in the two words, what is that? My life is my message, expansion is my life. So the whole idea of success is how expanded is my consciousness to include all these diverse things, where we can see homogeneity in everything. That aspect is what we should be doing. Is my 2 cents worth.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Suresh. What you mentioned is very insightful. Okay, anyone like to add on to what Dr. Suresh has mentioned? So Dr. Suresh has shared the practical part of what is meant by be aware, be alert. Okay, seeing Sai and all, which means seeing the goodness in so many things around us.
And the word be is a very powerful word, because many times because we play the role, so the role is camouflaging the be. So sometimes we are just camouflage, so we project the role we are playing, or we project the identity. But we have to strip away all that thing and start being. When we are in that mode of being, awareness will follow, alertness will follow. Because being has a very powerful entity as well within ourselves. And that's really Atmic. The more and more Atmic we become, the more and more aware we become, the more and more alert we become.
Okay. Thanks again, Dr. Suresh. All right, the next point, okay, Brother Uday Kumar, can you read this?
Saira. Cultivating divine qualities such as love, compassion, truth, righteousness, and peace allow us to reflect our inherent divinity. And there's one more video clip about Swami speaking about how can we develop divine nature in ourselves. Sairam.
Sairam, okay. I find this particular video clip rather insightful. Okay, let's watch this clip and let's focus on the what are the pointers that we can learn from this video.
త్రేతాయుగము లోపల దేవతలంతా ఒకవైపు నుండినారు, దానవులంతా మరొక వైపు నుండినారు. In the age of Treta, the gods were on one side and in one region, and the demons were. శ్రీరాముని కాలము లోపల దేవతలందరి కూడాను అయోధ్యలో కిష్కింధలో జీవిస్తూ వచ్చారు. During the days of Sri Rama, gods were living in Ayodhya. రాక్షసులందరూ కూడా దండకారణ్యంలో జీవిస్తూ వచ్చారు. The demons were living in the forest of లోకాల్లో జీవిస్తూ వచ్చారు, రాష్ట్రాల్లో అనగా రాజ్యముల్లో. And in other states, they were the different states they were living. కనుక రాముడు స్వయంగానే తాను యుద్ధములో ప్రవేశించి దండకారణ్యములో ప్రవేశించి రాక్షసులందరినీ హతమార్చుతూ వచ్చాడు. Therefore, Rama had to personally go to Dandaka forest and destroy the demons. రక్షిస్తూ వచ్చాడని దీని యొక్క అంతరార్థం. The meaning of this is that he protected the ద్వాపర యుగము లోపల దేవతలు రాక్షసులు ఇరువురు కూడా ఒకే రాజ్యంలో నివసిస్తూ వచ్చారు. When we come to the Dwapara age, in the same kingdom, both gods and demons అనగా పాండవులు కౌరవులు ఒకే రాజ్యానికి అధికారం. For the same kingdom, Pandavas and Kauravas, ఇలాంటి ఇరువురు చేరినటువంటి సమయం లోపల కృష్ణుడు ఏమి చేశాడు? తన సైన్యాన్ని అంతా కూడా కౌరవులకు ఇచ్చాడు. తాను అస్త్ర సన్యాసి పాండవులకు సహాయం చేస్తూ వచ్చాడు, యుద్ధం చేయలేదు. When gods and demons were living together in the same kingdom like that, what did Krishna do? Krishna gave his entire army. కలియుగంలో ఈ రాక్షసుల దేవతలు ఎక్కడున్నారంటే ఒకే దేహంలోనే ఉన్నారు. When it comes to the Kali age, the gods and demons are living in the same body. త్రేతాయుగంలో రాక్షసుల లోకం వేరు, దేవతల లోకం వేరు. During Treta age, the world of demons was different and the country of Dwapara యుగంలో రాక్షసుల్ని దేవతల్ని ఒకే లోకము. And in Dwapara age, gods and demons were living in the same kingdom. రాక్షసుల్ని దేవతలు ఒకే దేహము. And in the Kali age, the gods and demons are living in the same body. ఈ త్రేతాయుగంలో స్వయంగా తాను యుద్ధం చేస్తూ వచ్చాడు. In Treta age, personally God undertook to destroy. ద్వాపర యుగంలో తాను యుద్ధం చేయకుండా సాక్షిభూతుడిగా నిమిత్త మాత్రుడిగా కూర్చున్నాడు. When it came to Dwapara age, the Lord did not take war. ప్రవేశించాడు. He entered into the war but did not participate. కలియుగంలో రెండు కూడాను ఒకే దేహంలో ఉండటం వల్ల భగవంతుడు కేవలం తటస్థుడిగా ఉంటుంటాడు. When it comes to Kali age, as gods and demons are living in the same body, God is remaining neutral. ఈ యొక్క విచారణ శక్తి మానవుడుగానే గుర్తించుకోవాలి. Man has to recognize this particular fact. ఈ యొక్క బాధ్యత మానవునికే అందించాడు. This responsibility is handed over to man. తనలో ఉండినటువంటి దానవత్వాన్ని తన విచారణ చేత దూరం గావించుకోవాలి. By proper inquiry, man దైవత్వాన్ని తన విచారణ చేత తాను పోషించుకుంటూ రావాలి. He has to develop divinity in him and destroy demonic nature. కనుకనే మానవునికి స్వతంత్రమైనటువంటి దాన్ని అందిస్తూ వచ్చాడు. Full independence and freedom is given to the man in Kali age. అలాంటి స్వతంత్రాన్ని పొందినటువంటి మానవుడు, that person who is having తాను ఏమి చేయాలో ఏమి చేయకూడదు, what should he do and what should he లేక దానవత్వాన్ని పెంచుకోవటం, దైవత్వాన్ని విమర్శించుకోవటం జరుగుతూ వస్తుంటాడు. What is happening is he is developing demonic nature in him and he is destroying the divine nature in him. ఇదే కలియుగం యొక్క ప్రభావం. This is the effect and the influence of Kali age. ఈ కలి యొక్క ప్రభావం నందు దానవత్వాన్ని మనకు మనమే సంహరించాలి. Under the influence of Kali age, what we have to do is, we have to destroy the demonic nature. దానవత్వాన్ని మనం ఏనాడు సంహరిస్తామో దైవత్వం తనకు తానే ప్రకాశిస్తుంది. The moment we completely destroy demonic nature in us, the divine nature will automatically develop. మనలో ఉండినటువంటి మానసిక మాలిన్యాన్ని దూరం చేసుకునేటువంటి ప్రయత్నంగానే మనం విశ్వసించాలి. All the sadhanas which we undertake, therefore, is only to cleanse our mind and purify our mind.
Okay, now I had put the contents of this particular video into this table here, okay, where Swami talk about their 3 yogas, okay, the Trita Yoga, the Dwapara Yoga, and the Kali Yoga, okay. And he mentioned that in the first yoga, the Trita Yoga, the gods and the demons live in separate places, separate regions, okay. And in the Dwapara Yoga, okay, the gods and the demons live in the same place, okay. He gave the examples of the Pandavas and the Kauravas. And Swami said that in the Kali age, gods and the demons live in the same body. So in each of these particular age, there's this avatar, Sri Rama, in the Treta Yoga, in the Dwapara Yoga is the Sri Krishna, and in the Kali Yoga now is Sathya Sai Baba. And Swami mentioned about the action by God, okay? He say in the first yoga, God undertake personally to kill the demons, okay? So in the story of Ramayana, Sri Rama took arms, okay, and killed the asuras, And in the second, the Dwapara Yoga, God entered the war, but God did not participate in it, okay? He became the charioteer. And then in this particular Kali Yuga age, Swami mentioned that God is neutral. Okay, and the responsibility is for man to destroy the demon in himself. So God is neutral. Okay, so much of injustice is been done. Okay, so why God is not taking action? Swami say, well, God is neutral. Because God and demon live in the same body. Okay. So the responsibility is for man to destroy the demons in himself. So how do we make the world a better world? Is somebody said that first of all, you got to destroy the demon in yourself. So what do you think of this? Okay. So someone has mentioned, okay, nowadays there's so much, injustice, in the world, okay. So now the physical form of Swami is no longer reversed. We've got to wait for Brahma side to come and do something. Okay. What do you think? Okay. Let's open this to discussion. Okay.
Billy, it's a very good topic to discuss. Yeah, but the thing is that God being neutral means I think in those ages also there were people who had these sort of mentalities, isn't it? That there were people who could, like Ratnakar had the bad qualities initially, and then he changed back to good quality. So I feel that people here also in this world, in Kali Yuga, also have these sort of mentality that some people like being so materialistic, and then suddenly they leave everything and change. So I was wondering that is it not that, of course, the majority are not like that, but there were people in the old days also with different mentalities of sattvic and tamasic. So wondering that yes, it's more tamasic qualities are prevalent, and it is people who come to contact with the spiritual masters, or maybe from previous birth. There are some people, they're born with that inclinations. Like a lot of children, they can recite Veda, they can remember so many things when they are small. Or sometimes some people, they just leave the school, home, and then take sannyasa. And from the small age, like I was saying in Mahakumbh, so many Bal yogis they have taken up. So idea is that I think this is from the previous births that sanskaras have come, and they have people have rightly inclined towards the spiritual path. But there are a lot of people. Majority in this world is they're more materialistic, and the spirituality at a low ebb. Like if you see in Europe, the Christian churches are very low in attendance, and people and in fact people talk of atheism more than the believing in God. So these sort of things will be there, but it is, yes, Swami has said that people, it's more of people who are not believing in spiritual matters than most, because the worldly attractions are too much. So all our time is going in these sort of activities. So because I was reading a WhatsApp message where it says that a man went to the shopping center, and the shopkeeper was very kind to him, and he said that, sir, we have 21,000 items in this in my shopping store. Whatever you want, you can take. So this old man said that, I don't want anything. So this person was very surprised that, tell me, what do you want? Why you say it? He said, you are selling the things which are not needed by me. Because you say the air freshener you're selling, but the air freshener, can I not get a fresh air outside? You're giving this face lotion, which a lot of people they buy, but who has become more beautiful by only using this face lotion or something like that? So he gave examples of the things which were sold in the market in his store, and said that, see, these things are there, but without that also people have lived. So it means that these things have been added to my life as a gimmick to sell, but it is not that important. What important is that a beautiful sleep and a small simple food. So, and with that worldly attractions, worldly things, the mind is always pursuing from one to another so many things. The idea is that when all these things are there, the attraction is toward, Arvind said that my mind will go to, like 50 years back, we didn't have WhatsApp, so we never knew what is happening. But now we cannot live without a WhatsApp message or some forward or something like that. So these worldly things have been created to attract, like a veil of Maya. And it is so much that we are not able to come out. And that is the reason that these bad qualities are flourishing more and more. And people are drawn to it. So it needs a very strong willpower to overcome these sort of attractions and know our reality. And that is why Swami has said that man has to struggle himself. But I think that the role of a guru or a teacher is also a very important, because everybody has born in this world with not that attitude with the past sanskaras. So this is what I feel that, I mean, we are lucky to be part of this. But even for us also, this satsang, when a few years after it started after COVID, but we could not discuss these things in so detail before COVID, because these satsangs were not easily available. We could not talk so remotely. So idea is that the technology can be used for our betterment if it is guided in the right direction, just like a knife for a doctor and for a butcher. So I think the worldly things are needed. It has made our life very easy, phones and everything. But the thing is that in Kali Yuga, the changing of the mind towards ourselves, it has to there has to be some trigger from a godly person or something like that, or it has to come from previous birth. That's the only way I think spirituality people can be drawn, but because the attractions in the world are very, very strong, and it's there are more chances that people will be drawn into it. Saira.
Manoj. Okay, let's move on, and let me show you another short video before we come back to this, okay? All right. Now, there's something called the 100 monkey phenomenon, or the 100 monkey concept. Right. So this was a kind of observation made by scientists, on a group of monkeys in Japan. Okay, they found that these monkeys, living on the particular island. Okay, they were fed with potatoes, and then one monkey, took up the habit of washing the potatoes, before he ate the potatoes, and the other monkeys then follow him, and came a point where suddenly one day, all the monkeys in the other island took up the same habit. They were separated by the sea, because they are in islands. Okay, so what causes this 100 monkey effect? Let's watch this concept first. Okay,
100 monkey effect. In Japan, primatologists isolated macaque monkeys on an island and gave them sweet potatoes to eat. The potatoes were piled up with a lot of mud, and the monkeys were finding it difficult to eat those potatoes. So what one of the monkeys came up with an idea. She went and she washed this potato first time in the water, and she ate. After that, she showed it to her mother. Her mother picked up that trait, and slowly all the children monkeys started doing it, and their parents started doing it. What they observed as a group was the parent and children were washing the potatoes and eating, and the other monkeys, the adult monkeys, were not doing it. Eventually, slowly those adult monkeys also picked up the same trait, and slowly one fine day they all started washing the potatoes and eating. This is a 100 monkey effect. So when you change yourself, when your consciousness changes, automatically it starts reflecting on the larger group of people, and enough number of people transform their consciousness, you transform the world.
Okay, so this is something very powerful. It talks about to change the world, first of all, we have to change ourselves, okay? This reminds me of the concept of Ho'oponopono. Have you heard of the concept called Ho'oponopono, where there are 4 lines now that you have to say, okay? I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. Okay, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And according to the author, who wrote the book Zero Limits, okay, Joe Vitale, okay, he learned the Ho'oponopono concept from Hawaii Hila, okay. And this the concept of Ho'oponopono was passed down through what you call enlightened souls, okay, who live in Hawaii, okay. And they say that whatever something happened, good or bad, we are part of it. If something bad happened to us, there's a conflict. Somehow or other, although there's seemingly there's no relationship, no link with us, but we are part of it. And the only way to solve this kind of conflict is to clean ourselves first. And that book also mentioned the story of psychiatrist, okay? This psychiatrist was given the charge of a ward of very violent, mentally disturbed patient. Nobody dared to go to the ward because the patients there are very violent. And this psychiatrist, what he did was he just every day browsed through the files of each of the patients in the ward. And just by cleaning himself, he's able to calm down all the patients in the ward. And he's able to heal them that, came one day, all of them were slowly being discharged. So this is the concept of the 100 monkey concept. And let's watch another video where Dr. Vindaya spoke about this effect, okay? So Dr. Vindaya, okay, is a great spiritualist, okay? He has a great affinity with Swami. Whenever he talked about Swami, okay, he would tear because I can feel the presence of Swami, sitting just next to me. He has never seen Swami physically. But whenever someone talked to him about Swami, he could feel the presence, okay? So he also mentioned in this particular video of the 100 monkey effect and about our collective responsibility, okay?
The 100th monkey is a philosophy based upon the writing of a man named Rupert Sheldrake. Rupert Sheldrake lives in England, and he has written a book, which I've been studying, called A New Science of Life. And it was voted by the American Academy of Physics as the book most likely to be burned by their academy, all right? Because it is so blasphemous and absurd and silly, the notions inside of it. What Rupert Sheldrake is suggesting is that memory, which is what we can recall of all the things that have happened to us, is simply not stored in the brain. It's just not stored in the brain. All kinds of physical evidence like where they do experiments with cutting out pieces of the brain, a lot of ways of scientific evidence of establishing this belief. Just let it in. Don't endorse it, just let it in. Don't bite off my finger. Just look to where it's pointing for a few minutes, okay? The notion is that if memory, of course, is not stored in our brain, then where is it? Right? The philosophy is very simple, that all members of a species are connected together through what they call morphogenetic fields, just very much like magnets. And these fields surround all human beings. The 100th monkey is the number, the 100th monkey. Off the coast of Japan, there's an island. And they took a group of these monkeys from one species, and they put sweet potatoes out there on the beach. And they watched the monkeys. And the monkeys began to wash the sweet potatoes in a certain way that was peculiar to this species. And they began to eat them in a way that was peculiar to this species. After a given amount of time, when a certain number of monkeys within that species began to do that, the same behavior began to crop up in monkeys of the same species on islands 200 and 300 miles away. The question is, how did it happen? How could that have happened? And that's, without going into all the details of that, if there is truth that all members of a species are connected, that all human beings are connected as well. And if all of us are connected in some way that we don't understand, but in fact are connected, then I'm not here to tell you that you have to be thinking positive thoughts because it'll improve your life. I'm here to tell you that you have an obligation because you could be depressing somebody in Uruguay right now by thinking negative thoughts. It's true. Now just think about it. Just let it in. The highest form of ignorance is to reject something you know nothing about. That's the highest form you can get to. We know so little about this whole idea. But what we do know is that when human beings begin to think in positive, healthy ways, that they reduce certain endorphins into the chemistry of your blood. This is from Anatomy of an Illness, Norman Cousins. And that when you think positive, happy, loving, laughing thoughts, there's a different chemistry that goes into your body than when you think depressing, negative, anguishing, despairing thoughts. And that thinking, the way that you decide to think, has a dramatic effect on your chemistry and on your physiology and on your health as a human being. And that we know that when they did the artificial heart transplants, when they were looking for all the people up in Kentucky, who they were going to pick, there were many, many volunteers, because a lot of these people only have a few weeks left to live. So if they could get a few more months, they were very willing to be expended. The number one criteria was the will to live. What kind of an attitude does this human being have? How do they think? Because we do not want somebody who gives up on life, who is going to feel bad, who is going to be telling himself that he shouldn't be in this position. So as you begin to think about the possibility, here's what Ken Kais did in The 100th Monkey. He said, and The 100th Monkey is about nothing I've said so far. That's just all what I learned through my own research and my own reading and so on. The 100th Monkey is a book about nuclear war. The belief is this: if enough people on our planet think there's going to be a nuclear holocaust and believe that it's going to happen, we are going to create it by the way that we think. When a critical mass, and that's the theory, the 100th monkey, when you get to a certain number of people thinking anything, then it begins to spread to the rest of us all over our planet, and we begin to act upon those collective thoughts. The thinking is, who knows, I'm open to it, that we are not only connected to everybody who's alive, but everybody who ever has been, and everybody who ever will be. That we may all in some way be connected. So that if we want, the number one thing in the Hunger Project is that we are trying to raise the consciousness of the world, to help people to understand that starvation is something we cannot tolerate any longer. We won't have it. We won't think of it as something that is inevitable. What is happening now is people are beginning to say, what can I do? How can I change that? The same thing is true with nuclear war. If you want to think about raising your children, my friends, what more important parental task do you have than to make sure that our world is a place that's going to be inhabitable for our children and our grandchildren? As Victor Hugo said, there is nothing more powerful than an idea whose time has come. And we can make any idea have its time come by collectively thinking in these ways. And imagine if we're all connected like this. Imagine.
Suresh?
Yeah. I think it's really good. Really, really powerful. Really powerful. I think, and also I feel that this particular video, as well as the 100 monkey effect, really resonates with this subject as well. And most importantly, it denotes and shows us that we have an obligation to the world. If you cannot contribute happiness, don't contribute sadness. You know? So I think it's very good.
I think I just want to share that, in the Brahma Kumaris, there's a talk by this lady who's very popular. She says that in our brain, we are we have 3 ways of, 4 ways of, if you have a brain. So one chapter, we have different folders. And what she says is that there's one folder is which the karmas we bring it from the past lives. That is what we are. Second one is of willpower, that the people have the willpower to change themselves. The third one is the environment of the family, which brings our mental attitude, and the fourth one is the third one is family, and the fourth one is the environment that we live. And there is another folder which is called our soul power, which is the purest form. So what happens if you're living in a world, if somebody comes and tells us something bad about it? So what happens is a easy reaction is to that from the previous birth, whatever the sanskaras we have taken, we respond to that. But if every person shuts off those folders and starts talking from the pure soul folder where everything is good, everything is very pure, so then what happens is that first of all, you are not creating a new sanskaras by those reactions. And secondly, the pure soul folder has got that always, that I'm always full, I'm always happy, I'm ever living, all those sort of pure thoughts comes. So then what happens? You generate that thought within yourself. And she said that we all are energy field, we are not this body. So then what happens is, first of all, we start generating those positive thoughts within ourselves. So we are the first beneficiary of that goodness. And as we send these thoughts to the others, the person who has given me this angry feeling, he receives it. And then it changes slowly those angry thoughts. And she's saying that suppose if you are going in a meeting and where people have said, okay, please silent your mobile phone, and suddenly somebody's phone rings. So then in the hall, there'll be first of all, what is your reaction? They will I told him, it has been told not to to have the phone on the silent, but this person has done it. So first of all, we are sending a negative thought. Then what happened? There are so many people who have the similar thoughts, and this thought waves goes to that person who has by mistake he has put on he's not silent. His phone is not on silent. So his reactions, different reactions from so many people, is going to that person, and finally, it is drawing his energy, and he's feeling very low. In the same way, suppose if the person who thinks that, oh, maybe by mistake he's forgot to put, or maybe he came late so he didn't hear the instructions and the phone was he didn't put off, and that's why he has done it. So what happens that we are sending a positive energy to that person. And if many people start giving that, thinking or positive or thing, that other person's, the angry or the bad thought will be suppressed, and finally he will be changed. So her name is Shivani BK, and she speaks about this, and she said this is the power of our pure soul thought, and that can change the world. So if we can always respond with that folder of our mind, so first of all, we will be changing ourselves, because we'll be always happy, because that folder is of a nature of a bliss. At the same time, we will be changing the other people who is surrounding us or about whom we are thinking. So what he's talking about is the same what this Shivani talks about in her lectures on how to remain happy and how to stop this worrying in our life. It's a very nice video which people can watch. I can see. Sairam.
Sairam, brother. Very nice.
Yeah, so there's something called a Pygmalion, effect, where, for example, you have a child and we think that a child will be like this, like this, like this. The child will become what we think he will be, okay? So I think for us to make the world a better place and not to make the organization a better organization, I think we need to have this collective intention, okay? That we should gather together and have these positive thoughts. so that we can neutralize the negativity in the world today. Okay? In fact, all of us have some kind of effect with others. Okay, so Dr. Vendaya in his book, The Power of Intention, he mentioned this. Okay, the one individual who lives and vibrates to the energy of optimism and a willingness to be non-judgmental of others will counterbalance the negativity of 90,000 individuals who calibrate at the lower weakening levels. And if we, strive harder, one individual who lives and vibrates to the energy of pure love and reverence for all life will counterbalance the negativity of 750,000 individuals who calibrate at the lower weakening levels, okay? So, I think as much as we have got this Sai 100 project, we must probably include another project to calibrate our thoughts, maybe how should we do it? Maybe discuss later, But I think if we can get a group of individuals to do like this, I think we can change the world. Because if you look back at what Swami said in that particular video, God is neutral. Responsibility is for man to destroy the demons in him, okay? Don't worry about external world, okay? Destroy the demon in yourself, and you yourself will become God, and you have the power to change the world.
I think in Kerala there's a Christian church or something. There are a lot of people who are alcoholic or something like that, and you just send them the name and everything, and they do the prayers for him to get off the alcohol. And I heard that there are a lot of changes takes place in that place, because here the people, they chant in this person name to come out of this evil quality, and it really works. That I've heard from my Christian friends. So maybe these sort of prayers and the positive affirmations, because everything is energy, and I was told that once, like when Krishna was there on this earth, the Gita was told to Arjuna. But the thing is that if the science can have an instrument to get those vibrations brought back, then the Gita can be spread all over the world. I mean, it's not like reading by in his own words. So that's a thing, that since everything is a vibration, so an energy level, like I mean, if those energies, if can be, the modulations can be done by instruments or something like that, certainly these changes can come. And it has come only when we have the pure heart and pure souls, like coming and chanting and doing things together. Because it's also said that it's one of the book which I read, that it's only the 10% people who can bring the change, because if they think collectively, mostly 90% of the population, they follow, because they change their face towards where the wind is blowing. So it is not that they have changed, but the thing is that they follow the direction of what the elite and what the spiritual people are talking about. And that is why the Swami has said that let the glory of God be sung in different languages, different places, and all over. And that will bring the change in the world. So let's do our efforts to bring this change by collectively and by meeting people, whomever, and changing this mindset. Saira.
Thank you very much.
Saram,
yes.
Yeah, for years, since I started my sadhana very young, probably around 20, I joined the meditating group, and whenever they have this, they call it the resident course. I think so you understand, where they organize a pre-sale Cameron, where we have group of people just do group meditating together. From that very beginning, I knew that group chanting, group meditation is very powerful. Then, of course, coming to Site movement after 20 years, we have the retreat at Fraser Hill, where we had a group chanting and group meditation. Actually, it's the same effect. Every time when I participate in this type of activity, can feel like the world is cleansing all the negativity in the world, beside your own self or any close relative and friend. You can actually feel the effect is there, you know. Then in the end, you realize, you know, this is something we all can do. Like Billy Fong just now, you bring up a good point. Can the site have, you know, organized a retreat where we just concentrate on this chanting and then meditate or silent 3 times one day, which is very, very powerful. We might not see the effect. Some of you who are highly evolved can feel the effect, you know, but definitely everyone will be changing. That is one thing I think the site movement can do, our SSIO can do, but we haven't realized the power of it yet. That's why many times when you have site convention, I did suggest to many of the leaders here, right, that I say, you know, you must start with first chanting 100 and then sit for silence. But we have bhajan and other prayers, that's okay, you know. But this is something very, very constant, very, very powerful, you know. And then there is 1,000 people there, you know. And we just missed the opportunity. Sorry to say that, but this is what I feel. Maybe our timing have not come yet. But just now what you say is something that what I'm trying to say. The side movement can do it. But do we dare to sacrifice enough to give that, the 1 hour, right? Because the chanting will take about 40 minutes. Then the sitting 20 minutes, either silent or Jodi or, you know, we do so many, up to individual, right? But don't miss the opportunity of at least 5 to 1,000 people sitting together chanting the Gayatri. Swami only give Gayatri, and it's the most powerful. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, Swami says, without unity, there's no success or quality. So it's unity. All must get together, unite. Without that, you can't. When people are separate, it's very difficult. All must come together. All must think alike. Then will there be unity and oneness. Each and everybody looking at it in different way. How can it come? So you must focus on one thing, and all must come together and do it. Then only. Without unity, you cannot achieve anything in life. Maybe it at home or anywhere. Unity is must. There should be purity. Only then will there be unity. And there's unity, only there's success and you call it. Then will you can achieve something. It's true, Saira.
Thank you, sister. So the question 2 is, how can I read the scriptures better with a full intention to imbibe greater meaning so that I can repurpose my life? Okay. So I think these are part of the scriptures, done by the scriptural committee headed by Dr. Suresh. I think the fact that we discuss it in satsang, Tuesday satsang, it gives us a better perspective. So we look at it from different angles. So there's my take on this. Okay, maybe anyone else would like to share your thoughts on question 2. How can I read the scriptures better with full intention, okay, to imbibe greater meaning so that I can repurpose my life?
So I think Billy, the key word is the repurpose. So like now we have just been, today's session is very inspiring. And then Dr. Van Dyer's thing about intention, collective consciousness. So, okay, the session will finish in about 2 minutes, it'll finish close, then we'll all go back to our own activity, our work, and we'll carry on and wait for next Tuesday. But if we are really clear, and if this what has happened today makes a click in ourselves, how do I repurpose my life with this information that I have? I must ask this question that, okay, hey, like now, even in the Sai 100, so many initiatives for Baba's 100th birthday, can I at least contribute 10 more percent or 5 more percent or 10 more percent of my time towards making some of these things full? Because if I commit, then there's a good chance that 3 or 4 other people will be committed to make the program good, or to reach out to some other people, to help another individual, something like that. So if we commit like this, just a small little change, just 1% change, 2% change, it'll make a difference. That's all. We don't need to do many big, great things. It's just a question of how do we change this and repurpose my life, I want to include a few more things into my life other than my usual routine. This then adds on, consciousness expands, purpose gets to be driven, continuous focus on intention, consciousness expansion. So this is what it means. But we always want to think something huge and big. Actually, it's not necessary. Simple thing. Even if you pick up a call and call 2-3 other people and say, hey, next Tuesday, I'm going for this satsang, this particular session. Why don't you come? That 3 extra people will come extra, or people might come extra. This is just a little bit of effort, but it makes a lot of difference. So that is what actually all this really means, because unless we go for the small drops, we cannot create an ocean. I think that's what this is. A very powerful. Today's session is very, very nice and very, very impactful, because it really makes you start to think, especially the 100th monkey effect. That line where he said, I was a real slap, this just watching the 100th monkey do. This is no more the fact that it's no more anything, but it's an obligation, man. Can you imagine? That means I need to be happy, because I can create an infectious environment that other people can be happy. But if I be sad, I have a chance to influence the environment. Gee, what kind of a person am I? I want to be depressed, I want to be sad, and I'm influencing the environment. If I can come into my awareness that I can cause this commotion or this disturbance in the environment, it's very, very powerful. So why should I do that? Why should I not make this world, where Baba's world, make it a better place to live in? I think that is the inspirational statement that comes out from today's session relating to this particular sloka that we talked about. Very good. Thanks, Billy. Thank you so much. And thank you for the team for inspiring this session today. So we've come to the end. Let's finish with the mantra. Okay. Thank you so much, Sarah.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Saram, thank you everyone for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Ram, thank you.
Thank you.